Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Saturday to you all. Or if you're watching this on any other day, happy whatever day of the week it is to you all. Those of you who are new around here, this is a little segment we did all throughout last year. If you have been around for a little while, you know exactly what this is. Welcome, everybody, to Season 2 of OST Saturdays here on the TOKiMONSTA channel. This is a tremendously exciting time indeed. OST Saturdays were one of my favorite things to record last year. Primary focus for the series is to check out a handful of OSTs that have dropped over the course of the past 7 days, because in my opinion, OSTs never get the attention that they deserve in comparison to the studio releases of the same artists, and that's why we spend a little bit of time during the weekend to check out the OSTs that has dropped. And usually there's some hidden gems in here. And we got to cover some artists that maybe we otherwise wouldn't have covered had we not done OST Saturdays. So, the standard proceedings here, kind of gloss over the artists that we're going to go over this week, and once we finish the introduction, roll the intro and stuff. Timeline below is going to be chapter based off of whatever song we're listening to, so if you're only here for one or two artists, then you can go ahead and click ahead to that section. If you're in it for the long haul like me, welcome aboard. Let me roll the intro real quick and get back with you on the other side. So, here we go. Good to know that so far my computer is behaving itself. If you've noticed that compared to the recent videos that I've put up, the font is different, it's because, well, my computer decided to misbehave this morning. By misbehave, I mean just not boot. I got blue screens all morning. I went and did a clean install of Windows, but that also meant I had to reinstall everything, OBS included, and none of my scenes, well, I mean, I didn't really have a way to save them before, because of course it wouldn't boot for me to take a backup of it anyway, so I had to go and rebuild all the scenes from scratch after I finished installing Windows today. That's why maybe the proportions of the layout might be a little bit different than before, but please bear with me. If there are any technical difficulties, again, please bear with me. I'm trying my best here. Had things gone smoothly, it would have done this week's as well as probably all of December's OSTs, or a handful of OSTs from December that I missed, but unfortunately, well, stuff happened and it is now 8 p.m. So only one OST Saturday recording session for the day. I might do one tomorrow if my computer decides to behave itself, but that's a problem for tomorrow me to figure out. We have OSTs to check out. Let me pull up my sheet real quick. Every single week I always keep a notepad just so I don't lose track of my own. I'm going to start off with a little bit of Punch one time. Now, Punch is a very, very talented vocalist. Gorgeous vocals, really nice, rich vocals. Love listening to her sing. But she's done a song called Run Far Away from the Drama, Nothing Uncovered. Now, had this been last year, we would have done this showing the kind of MV that's attached with the OST release, which includes shots from the TV show itself. I'm going to try and avoid that this year, just so I don't have to deal with even more copyright issues, because OST Saturdays, apart from album listens, were the ones that I usually had problems with. I will link the original MV downstairs if you are interested in watching along with it. I just can't risk putting it up because, well, I'm going to have to chop it up, and that's just a lot of work I need to do. So, let's get started. First OST of the year. Here we go. Might be a little bit quiet for y'all. Give me a second. There we go. surprisingly pacey opening. I thought it was going to be a little bit slower, but I mean, it's halftime now, so it's slower, but it was pretty punchy earlier. I hear the white noise building though. It's kind of reminding me of the OST that she did with Chanyeol for Goblin, you know, the OST. The mixing's very similar in my ears. Love muffling that drum beat so it sounds like a heartbeat. It might be the same chord sequence, that's why it sounds familiar. It's in a different key but the same chord sequence, that's why it sounds familiar, and it's the same voice doing it, so it checks out. I think, at least. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real quick, because my confidence is not so sure anymore. Yeah, Stay With Me from Goblin with Chanyeol. It's got high notes in similar places too. That's really cool. I love that we haven't really gotten like really punchy, powerful vocals. It's all been really breathy high tones, and I love that about her voice. Yeah, that's so nice. That's so nice. Her voice suits this type of vibe so well. And hold on, let me get Spotify real quick so I can actually pull it up. Punch. Turn it down a little bit, but. And then we go back to this part. Cool. I'll hum along with the melody from Stay With Me. Admittedly, I don't actually remember the melody all that well to do the entire chorus, but you get my point. I love it when stuff like that happens, like the happy coincidences. Come across it sometimes, I think, come across it most during OST Saturdays, which is very interesting. And it all comes down to pop music, in essence, kind of has a set formula, if you will, when it comes to what chords are used throughout a song. Typically, it's like 4 bass chords with a couple modifiers, maybe 6 with a couple modifiers here and there. And because of it, you do occasionally find songs that kind of sound similar to each other. This, like, Punches Run Far Away and Stay With Me from Goblin, that's been out for eons at this point. The coincidence is even more profound because it's the same vocalist using that same tone in that similar range. It's like, I was listening to it during the first chorus and thinking, this sounds really similar to that Goblin OST. And that's because the chord sequence is, it's in a different key, but the chord sequence is the same. with the same vocalist singing the same part. That's why it sounds so similar. And we ran into this last year with Umbi. Umbi had an OST for something or other. And it was the exact same key and exact same chord sequence as it was either As We Dream or Memory by Eyes1, which obviously she was a member of before they disbanded. And that was really cool to me because it's a very familiar voice singing the same key over the same chord sequence, and they both kind of sound very similar. Run Far Away is exactly the same, and I think that's so neat and so cool. It's such a small detail, but I love it. I love it. And her voice just suits this type of music so well. Oh, spectacular way to start. This one I saw had a bunch of Seulgi performance stuff in it, so I decided to keep it in. But this is Miss Seulgi from Red Velvet with You're My Joy and Luck from Fubao and the grandfather. Is Fubao? Well, I mean, clip is the panda, but is it the panda that recently got shipped back to China? I'm not very well versed in, like, I don't know if this would be considered pop culture, but pop culture. So, anyways, love, again, another vocalist who I really like the voice of. And I feel like I haven't really gotten a whole bunch of Red Velvet related stuff. I mean, we had Wendy's solo recently, but in general, I feel like we haven't had too much Red Velvet kind of like extra projects. So I'm very excited to get to hear Miss Seulgi sing. So here we go. It's in 3. Schmoll Panda. There's just something so soothing about a song in 3 because it naturally rocks back and forth, right? Ooh, nice cut. I also love that it's just her voice in the piano. It feels very true. Ooh, get up there, Seulgi. I love that brief pause they throw in there. It's so powerful. It just draws you in. I also love that in the pre-chorus we get the full sequence of the piano melody instead of just the major notes. Oh, and then it snaps back into the... Oh, the piano's getting a little bit more playful now. A little bit sharper notes. sitting up there feels so easy. Is it just gonna... No, there's the piano to finish. Selfish me really wanted a nice rolled chord at the end there, but you know what? I'm not going to complain too much. It's very pretty. It's really, really pretty. It's... The thing about a slower song like this, especially written in the way that this has been written, is this is kind of my perfect ballad for me. Not in terms of like the song, but how the song has been made. I think when it comes to specifically like an emotional ballad, having the vocalist and one singular acoustic instrument is just so powerful, because it's clearly stated that this isn't the case with Seulgi's You're My Joy and Luck, but whenever I hear a vocalist doing a really emotional slow song and hear one acoustic instrument, it feels like the two are the same. It feels like it's being played by the same performer, all done by the same performer. So the vocalist is singing while they're playing the instrument, and even though this isn't the case, it's mixed in a way that it feels like it. They both go in sync with each other. Once they go really soft, they both go easily soft, really quickly, really smoothly. Once they put some firmness in, both put some firmness in. There's a little bit of playfulness, there's some playfulness to it. But it all feels so synchronized with each other that to me it gives off the sensation that, yes, this is Seulgi singing and performing it. Which makes me feel bad, because, the pianist is clearly stated in the song title. Im Kyung? I think? Admittedly, my Hangul comprehension is, reading abilities is not very good, but I think that's Im Kyung. Very, very nice tone, and I love the sound that the piano has too. Certain instruments will have a different like signature sound. This one has a little bit of an old-timey feel, like there's a different kind of resonance to the sound, but it's also very comforting, and it's got a nice like mellowness to it, which I really like. Alright, lyric video, mainly because I believe this is part of a film that, from my brief little bit of research, hasn't even come out yet. This is aespa with TOKiMONSTA, with Die Trying for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, which is, the Scargiver is kind of a hard title to put on someone, isn't it? The Scargiver. Oh, it's a Netflix film. Excuse me. Die Trying. aespa and their OSTs, honestly, we haven't had too many of them, but whenever we have, they've had a pretty good track record. If we're purely talking about, like, aespa film OSTs, they did the Tetris one last year, which was honestly very well executed. They incorporated the original sample of the Tetris BGM very well, gave it a nice modern spin on it. It felt like an aespa track. TOKiMONSTA, I'm not familiar with their work. I read it was like a pianist turned producer, DJ Canadelio. If you want to fill me in on the missing bits and pieces of how this came to be, do let me know in the comments, but let's check this one out. Okay, the mixing is kind of crazy. It's very heavy. I don't know why I'm missing hearing the Ning Ning sing. Hello, harmonies. Is this speeding up? Oh man, this build is long. There is pitch movement in the bass part now. We didn't get too much of that in the first verse. Oh, that is the chorus. Ooh. Hold on, I went to lock in here. So this is the chorus. There's an air of mystery to this now. Or is that the pre-chorus and is this the... What is happening here? Yeah, the mixing is kind of going crazy. Ooh, ooh. The vocal chops are going crazy too. They're panning all over the place. Boom, 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 boom. Where's this gonna go though? Is that the end? Interesting. Interesting. I'll be up front. It's not me cup of tea. It's not me cup of tea indeed. This is me cup of tea. That's not me cup of tea. That's a very bad joke, but yes, I do have tea. But joke aside, it's I wish the song was a little bit more, I don't want to call it inspiring, but like had more of a melodic element to it. I much more prefer very nice, complex, robust melody part. And I know aespa are capable of doing stuff like that, so I'm a little bit sad that we didn't get something like that. I will give them this though, like, give this collaboration its due props when it comes to the production side of things, because the production went kind of crazy. There's a lot of movement, lots of little creative ideas when it comes to like altering the vocal chops, how the vocals are mixed, how the reverb is changing throughout the song, the little vocal elements they decided to layer together. I think that's really cool. Just wish we got a little bit more support around it to give it some more meat, if you will. Does that make sense? I'm not bashing on them whatsoever, because I know their abilities and I know they can pull off a wild time when it comes to music. I mean, the entire drama era was kind of a roller coaster for me in that regard, but you know, sometimes we come across an OST that isn't just like quite my taste, and that's a-okay. It's kind of like whenever we have any other release we find on the channel. Sometimes it's just not to our taste, and that's a-okay. People out there might really enjoy this. I'm not gonna bash them for it. That's not what we do here. We don't bash other people's taste because they're not our own. No. If I catch any of you doing that, immediately to the shadow realm. Got it? Good. Move her on one time. Okay, yeah, this one popped up out of nowhere for me, and this one I actually need a little bit of context for, so I pulled up the link for it on the side. This is Mr. Minghao. This is Shu Minghao, THE8, with the song Fly! Birdy Friends from Fly! Birdy Friends, which I didn't know what this was. So I went online. Birdy Friends is a glocal, which is a word I feel like I've seen way too many times when it comes to like sustainable farming and stuff, but a global and eco-cultural content born and bred on Jeju-do. Consists of characters of 5 birds native to Jeju, including an endangered species, Pita, fairy Pita, Japanese white-eye, Casker, a peregrine falcon. I love peregrine falcons. They're so cool. Zelda, Eurasian skylark, and Woody, a white-backed woodpecker, venture and grow together in Jiju's mysterious forest and tell us a variety of forest stories. So it's like an educational cartoon type of dealio, which is, let's say, anything for the environment, man. I love cultural history. I love the environment. Put them all together in a nice digestible package. I can definitely get on board with that. Fortunately, it's not a very long song. It's only 2 minutes, but I'm not going to complain too much. Hearing THE8 on his own, though, is going to be really interesting. I feel like he's one of those members that I've never heard sing something solo. I mean, I know the boy can move on the dance floor and on the stage and stuff, but I don't think I've really ever heard him sing on his own before, which is going to be a really interesting time for me. There's also a Chinese version of this that dropped. This was the one that got linked on the thread that I was watching, so this is the one that I pulled up. If you want to hear THE8, Mr. Minghao singing his native language, if you just can't Google Fly Birdie Friends 17 THE8, you'll find the Chinese version. So, Korean version will be linked below, but there's even Chinese subtitles for those of you who want it. But send the song one time. So here we go. I'm in nature. I'm not in nature anymore. Hey, yo, wait, hold on, this rips. I wish I had a guitar. Oh my god. Break out the pitch percussion instruments one time. Kind of marimba sounding instrument there. Got some movement in the electric guitar. You did not just sneak in a key change in there, Minghao. How dare you, sir? I mean that in the best way possible. I love a key change in the middle of a song. That's 2 minutes of excellence right there. Wow! Minghao, I did not know you had it in you to do that. Oh, that's sick. That's so much fun. Oh my goodness. Hey, if the song is as good as the show is gonna be, I'm invested in the show already. That is spectacular, if I do say so myself. It's got everything you want. I love the start of this more than anything. I think the start is... If the entire song was like how it was in the start, I wouldn't have complained. You know, it's a show, it's a cartoon about nature and the natural world. Why not go with a natural sound? Like, you're walking through the woods, hearing all the nature around you. And then all of a sudden you get this drum fill come out of nowhere. It's like, where are we going with this? And then... I wish I had my guitar because I could play along with this. The chords are really easy. It goes D, A, B, A, G, F sharp, G, A. Oh, I wish I had my guitar. I wish I had a guitar. guitar instruments are banned as part of my housing contract in this building, which makes me really sad. But the song itself makes me so happy because, like, I'm a sucker for this kind of cheesy poppy rock sound, and TH's voice sounds really good on it. It sounds so comfortable in this range, which is really cool. And I think the instruments do a perfect job of what they're supposed to. It's meant to, like, I don't know if this is meant to introduce the show or whatnot, but it gets me amped up listening to it. And plus, when you throw in a, where's the keychain? Wait for it. When you throw in a key change like that, oh, I'm never gonna complain. The only small tiny qualm I have, I wish it was longer. And I mean, if you've been around for long enough, you probably know I was going to say that. I wish it was longer. That's it. That's the only qualm I have. Cannot be more pleased with this. Well done, sir. Well done, you. Righto, Mr. Paul Kim. Had him on a couple of times, part of Gomak Boys, a little project vocal group they had with a whole bunch of really talented vocalists. Checked him out a couple of times through OST Saturday. We had a solo release of his last year, Hangang, featuring Mr. Big Naughty himself, which was a very fun time, a very nice, chill song, which I'm pretty sure was around this time last year, I think. But he's got a new OST out called Can't Get Over You, from the show Queen of Tears. Now, I'm aware that I'm pretty sure this show had a couple of other OSTs listed from before this in the catalog. We'll see if they make the final cut, and we'll see when we get around to them. Again, it all comes down to a time constraint regarding, like, whatever else happens outside of my control, whether it be, I don't know, I have to run to school, I have errands, I have deliveries to expect, my computer decides to absolutely the bed, like it did this morning. So, just gonna take it, play it here, day by day, and see when we can squeeze them in. So, we'll get around to the previous 4 months eventually. I'll say that much. But, this is Can't Get Over You from the show Queen of Tears by Mr. Paul Kim. Here we go. I was about to say, and this is your form of therapy, but wrong channel. Love you, PDM. Now we've got a really old-timey piano. He's sitting low. He's sitting really low. Oh. 갑자기 그 이름이 문득 떠오르면 따뜻해요 여기 온 마음이 떨리는 목소리로 표정으로 그대에게 말할게요 난 그대를 Water release. It's gone from this, what essentially was just like a really almost intimate sounding instrument vocal solo, to late night closing shift type vibes now. Like, this is 11 p.m. driving through the city while it's drizzling rain vibes. The wailing guitar, bring in some synth work, the twinkling synths. Get tasty with the piano one time. There's like 3 different flavors of everything that we got through that. That's very cool. Hello, falsetto flip. Love that, just brief flip up into his head voice and then straight back down. Love the texture that creates. And every single time we come around to this chorus, the instruments that take priority have changed too. Like this time it's electric guitar and acoustic piano. Last time was the synthesizer and the guitar. First time around was just the piano and with a little bit of electric guitar in the background. Now that is a piano sample of an instrument that has been well used and well loved. Oh, I love that it's not like crispy clean and almost hermetically sealed environment clean. It's got a little bit of like pitch skewing. It feels worn. It feels aged. And I think that's part of the charm of it. If you go on YouTube and you hold on, let me just there we go. If you've been around on YouTube and gone through like public piano videos before, the ones that have been well loved, well used are the ones where the tuning starts to go a little screwy, or sometimes when you come across like barn find videos where, you know, someone, or like an estate sale, someone used to play piano and unfortunately they passed away and the family's selling off the stuff in the home so they can sell the home in an estate sale, and they come across this really like tattered old piano which looks like it's seen things. It's been played thousands, tens of thousands of times. It's seen millions of notes being played through it. It's seen generations of people, you know, playing on the keys or slamming on the keys if you're a small baby sitting on your grandpa's lap or whatever. Those pianos, the tuning's going to be a little bit screwy. Naturally, instruments like tension-stringed instruments are going to lose their tuning. But because of it, there's this indescribable charm about a slightly out-of-tune piano that I can't really explain, really, unless you go and look for it yourselves. You'll understand, like, it's like the pitch sounds a little bit screwy, but since the entire thing the pitch is screwy, it sounds like it's got a little bit of charm to it. The acoustic piano sample they've used in this feels like that, especially when you combine it with the synthesizer, which is always going to be pitch perfect unless you modify the entire scale. The electric guitar, which is a fretted instrument, so there's a little bit of play you have. It's just everything comes together in a way that feels very cozy to me. It feels either very cozy or very 11 p.m. sitting in the back of the cab watching out the window, watching the scenery go by while like rain streaks down the window. It's a very specific mental image, but the songs allowed for that to be created in my mind, and that's usually the sign of a very well-written song for me. So, ramble over. One last song. This popped up on my feed about 4 hours before I was ready to record. So Apple have made another original film called Argylle. It's Argylle. Spells an extra L. But besides the point, this is the song Electric Energy, parentheses, Reimagination, sung by Jacob and Kevin from The Boys. Didn't know this was a thing. This wasn't even on any of the release calendars that I usually follow. It just popped up on the recent uploads list, and it was just like, well, we're doing OC Saturday today. I'm quite liking the boys at the moment. Let's jump on board. So let's do just that. I have no idea what the concept is, but we're gonna enjoy it nonetheless. Here we go. Films often do take a little bit of a different direction in OSTs compared to dramas, so this will be interesting.
You're living on the edge and the fires around you electrify your mind, go and live your dreams. No need to chase the thrill, cause it's gonna find you. Oh, 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 oh. Give me your
big strings. Nice head voice flip. Again, lovely flip.
Aim that light and shine it down on me. Electric energy.
Really gentle cymbal roll into the electric instruments.
Come on, take my hand, yeah, the temperature's rising. We're turning up the heat, baby, you and
as a violin player of many years, and as someone who's played in like orchestra, like full orchestras like this is playing to my heart, very much so.
But
to shout out the vocals though, the vocals are holding their own against, this is a big orchestra by the way. There was some very subtle harmony work going on. I don't know if it was layered or actual proper like in-time harmony, but it was very cool. Let it grow. Come on, brass section. Come on, brass section. Throw it in that new key one time. Wow, first violins held that for a long time. No bona fide ending at the end. I wonder if that means it's going to play into a scene at some point. Like, the scene is going to progress along with the song, and then the song peters away, meaning something's about to happen on screen that requires the watcher's full attention. Ooh, very nice. I think this one, when it comes to film OSTs, like even aespa and TOKiMONSTA's from earlier, film OSTs are going to be written in a little bit of a different way because the context at which they are used is going to be different. So when it comes to a drama OST, it's usually played in the background of like a montage or a travel scene or something like that. So it can kind of take front and center. Like it's within the whole context of the production side of things, it's kind of allowed to be loud and take full center. That's why you can have some like pretty impressive vocalists, pretty strong songs. But when it comes to a film, you can't ever really warrant a break in a similar way to a drama can. A film OST is almost meant to be in the background all the time. And especially if it's kind of a dramatic film, a lot of times film directors will want a classical based OST is because it blends in with the background a lot more. It feels it's easier to mix into the background. There's also kind of like a hint of elegance to it. I mean, they don't call it the silver screen for nothing, right? When it comes to films, right? Or do they call TV silver screens? I'm pretty sure it's film, right? Anyways, this feels just like a tried and tested formula for a film OST. Really pretty strings, really kind of not bombastic, but like big brass sections that don't feel overpowering. Nice heavy lower strings, really pretty delicate high strings, and nice vocal or two to cap it off. And it feels very elegant. It feels very refined in a way. And honestly, Jacob and Kevin, they kind of pulled that off with flying colors. It's their voices sound so good, especially in that higher range where they have the little head voice flips and stuff. Like I'm not well versed enough in the boys' like member lineup yet to understand who sings at what part. I know for a handful of members, not for everyone. But they held their own in both high and low ranges, and they sang in a way that felt appropriate for the setting. Because it's a classical orchestra back song, never did it feel like they were trying to be like the standout vocalists, full power vocals. It sounded like they were part of the orchestra singing in that soft, delicate manner, and I think that really makes it for me. And the little personal bias part is helps too, because I could definitely see myself playing along to one of the two violin. Maybe there's three violin parts, I don't know, but one of the two main violin parts. I was primarily a second violin growing up. I had a stint in first violin at the end of high school, but I don't know. Playing the melody wasn't really my thing. I didn't really like it. I was also good at playing the harmony part. So maybe that's why I was always put in second violin. But anyway, that's enough of my past life. Let's wrap it up here. Here we go. Alright, technology looks like it behaved itself, but honestly, a really good roundup to start season 2 of OST Saturday. Again, I can only apologize if there was technical difficulties, if there was any like audio balancing issues and stuff. I'm really trying to get this fixed, kind of rushing through to get this out today because, well, for most of you, you'll probably watch this when you're like awake. I'm uploading this probably before I go to bed because time zones are a thing, and well, this will be the first OST Saturday upload from Japan while we're in JST. Usually, when I was in America or in the UK, I had the luxury of waiting until everything for the Saturday block of OSTs would have dropped. Because by the time I was recording OST Saturdays while I was in the UK, it would have been like 11 p.m. here in the eastern side of Asia. But I don't have that luxury anymore. I'm kind of like doing this everything in real time. I kind of had to wait until 6 p.m. to do most of the recording stuff now, which is kind of unfortunate because that means I have to do everything after dinner, and that's not a lot of time. But OST Saturdays was a lot of fun. Honestly, like my OST for the week, or at least from the handful that we checked out, has to go to THE8. I think that song was absolutely brilliant fun, with Jacob and Kevin taking a very close second place for me. But that is it from me with this week's roundup of OSTs, and we try and do this every single week, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. But thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today: let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness may brighten up someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you whenever I see you next time, whether this be next week's OST Saturday, whatever upload next. And yeah, until then, we have a good one and enjoy your weekends. Bye bye.